The world is not a frontier. Relief wagons lined up beneath the south gate. Residents waiting for medicine crowded against the chain. A woman holding a child. A son supporting an old man who had burned with fever all night. Miners clutching injured hands. They were all staring toward the blue light. When the blue gate above the abandoned silver mine opened, wagons began rolling out one by one from the other side. Leon saw the line from atop the wall and immediately frowned. Medicine should have been at the very front, but according to the manifest, a large iron frame came first. He took a folded sheet of paper from inside his coat. It was the copy of the manifest Seo Ha-yoon had secretly slipped him in the middle of the night. Relief supplies, refrigerated medicine, patient stretchers, small iron rods, folding iron frames. Taken individually, every item came with a plausible excuse, but the iron frames were coming before the feverish patients, and tools for cutting chains had even been tucked between the medicine crates. The blue gate was difficult to deceive. When too many heavy loads or objects prepared for battle came through at once, blue frost formed thickly around its edges. Thanks to the mark on the back of his hand, Leon could read those changes faster than anyone else. The frost had reacted first when today's initial cargo began to move as well. This was not merely a relief convoy. He turned away without watching any longer. Open the south gate inspection yard. Lower the chain. Today's inspection will be public. Hardin, the adjutant beside him, hesitated. There are a lot of people waiting for medicine. That's why we're doing it in public. If I stop them alone, those bastards will go around claiming the Lord stole the medicine. Leon headed down the stairs at once. The air below was louder and murkier. The smell of people, wet earth, livestock, and the cold metallic odor spilling from the gate all mingled together. The layout of the south gate was simple. The blue gate had opened in the field outside the city gate. Past the chain lay the inspection yard, and beyond that was the city gate passage. Stone steps leading up to the altar stood on the right, and two archers waited on the wall overhead. The residents shouted from behind the chain for them to bring in the medicine first. The customs soldiers cleared the passage, and Leon stood in the center of the inspection yard. Just then, a royal carriage arrived along the eastern road. Princess Leia stepped down, while High Priest Orban waited by the altar steps with his knights. Neither of them was on Leon's side, but he needed them both here today. If the crown and the order witnessed this together, neither could change their story later. Leon handed the paper to Leia. She read only 2 lines before her expression hardened. There's an addendum. Exemption from inspection at the south gate. A detour through the pilgrimage route. And use of the storehouse beneath the altar. Those aren't terms that belong in a relief treaty. This time, Orban all but snatched the paper from her. They intend to use the storehouse beneath the altar? That's why we're opening everything here. Once the interpreter on the other side relayed his words, the trading company's representative stepped forward. A banner emblazoned with blue letters fluttered from the wagon behind him. Frontier Resources. The trading company Leon had to stop before any other. The representative spoke with a composed expression. The patients come first. People will die if you delay. Leon nodded. The patients go in first, but every stretcher, medicine crate, and iron frame gets opened right here. The crown and the order will stand witness. The murmuring among the residents swelled at his words. Seeing their anxiety spread, Leon deliberately admitted 3 genuine patients first. An old man gasping for breath, a feverish child, and a man with a bandaged leg. When the woman carrying the child bowed her head in tears, even the trading company's representative could no longer press as hard. Then make it quick. Cold vapor leaked from the first medicine crate. Glass bottles and medical supplies were neatly arranged inside. The second crate contained bandages and dried medicinal herbs. What emerged from the third were small iron rods and folded pieces of an iron frame. An identical ring was attached to the end of every rod. Leah asked, "Why is that necessary for treatment?" The answer that came through the interpreter was quick, as if rehearsed. "It's a metal frame for constructing a temporary ward." Leon hefted one of the pieces in his hand. It was too thick and heavy to be part of a bed frame. The marks left by cloth wrapped around it to conceal its shape were also plain to see. More importantly, when this crate had crossed the gate earlier, the blue frost had formed far more thickly around it than around the medicine crates. This cargo was more suspicious than the medicine. He jerked his chin at Hardin. Next stretcher. A stretcher covered with white cloth was brought forward. A pale young man lay on top. Cold sweat beaded on his skin, and his lips were parched. To all outward appearances, he was a genuine patient, but thick blue frost coated all 4 legs of the stretcher. A single person passing through did not cause that, and the instant it crossed the threshold, blue light had flashed twice in quick succession. Leon was certain several layers of metal were hidden inside. When Leon grasped the edge of the cloth, the trading company's representative stepped forward. "That patient is in critical condition. That's why I'm examining him myself." The instant Leon moved to pull back the cloth, a hand shot out from beneath the stretcher. It held a shotgun. Bang! At the first shot, a customs soldier to Leon's left clutched his throat and collapsed. Another bullet immediately struck the chain link at the entrance to the inspection yard. Sparks flew and the chain snapped. Shields forward. Outside the inspection yard, 2 men hiding behind the medicine crates drew guns at the same time. Inside the yard, a tool for cutting chains rolled out from beneath another stretcher, and the iron frame pieces they had just found in the crate spilled across the ground. The residents screamed and surged back toward the inside of the city gate, while even the genuine patients fell and became tangled together in the center of the inspection yard. The royal guards closed around Leah. From the altar steps, Orban spat out a prayer that sounded almost like a curse, then shouted, "Draw your swords." The second bullet flew into the city gate passage, and the third struck the wall overhead. Chips of stone rained down. In the opening moments, the shooters from beyond the gate appeared to have the advantage. But the cramped inspection yard did them no favors either. Fallen stretchers and crates blocked the way through the center, and blue mist lay over the ground, obscuring everyone's vision. Guns were powerful at a distance, but here, the fighting was too close. Leon did not let that brief opening pass. Push with the shields. Archers on the wall. Shoot the men behind the medicine crates first. Hardin's reserves raised round shields inside the city gate passage and pushed forward. The sound of bullets striking the shields rang out in rapid succession. The two archers on the wall overhead rained arrows down below. The first arrow pierced the shoulder of a mercenary behind a medicine crate, and the second slashed open the cheek of a man beside the stretcher. Leon snatched up a fallen spear and forced himself through a gap in the shield wall. In a place as tight as the inspection yard, a spear point was faster than a gun. He drove the spear down onto the wrist of a mercenary who was just getting up, then kicked the fallen gun far away. A royal guard following behind him cut another man down with his sword. Then came the sound of metal twisting near the gate. Leon looked up. A large iron frame was lodged halfway across the gate's threshold. Its front end had already touched the ground outside the inspection yard, while the rear remained submerged in the blue light. It bore the same rings and joints as the pieces they had found in the crate. The pieces brought inside were clearly meant for assembly, while the large iron frame had been positioned across the threshold first, to hold the passage open. Blue frost encased the large iron frame in a thick layer. The gate appeared to be trying to close, only to catch on the frame and remain open. The mark on the back of Leon's hand burned hot as well. This was no longer a matter of instinct. He could see it with his own eyes. As long as that thing remained lodged there, the cargo behind it could be forced through more easily. "Don't touch that large iron frame," Leon shouted. The gate hasn't closed yet, but it was already too late. Two men from beyond the gate who had been hiding behind the crates outside the inspection yard were crawling out again. They were not moving toward Leon, but toward the large iron frame. They had not come out to fight. They were trying to clear the way and force the cargo behind them through. Even in the middle of the blood-soaked inspection yard, Leia never let go of the manifest and the papers. Secure the addendum, the cargo manifest, and every transit record. Don't let anyone burn anything. Orban's holy knights raced down the altar steps on the right and charged into the inspection yard. White cloaks poured into the narrow passage as swords and maces clashed against gun barrels. One holy knight took a bullet in the chest and still charged on, smashing down into a mercenary's jaw. In that opening, several residents dragged the genuine patients through the city gate to safety. Leon glanced behind the medicine crates. Seo Ha-yoon was crouched low, trembling. When their eyes met, she urgently pointed toward the gate. Another black silhouette hung within the blue light. A small cart pushed by two people, several round metal canisters behind it, and perfectly rectangular crates despite the cloth covering them. It was a second shipment of cargo that had already set out. As long as the large iron frame held the threshold open, those could be forced inside as well. Leon readjusted his grip on the bloodstained spear. Across the floor of the inspection yard, dead soldiers, wailing residents, overturned crates, shattered stretchers, and gunfire that had yet to cease were all tangled together. And yet the true danger was not merely the battle before his eyes. It was the fact that beyond that large iron frame, the enemy's cargo was still pouring through. And at that very moment, the second shipment of armed cargo forced its way through the blue light and appeared before the south gate.